U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's visit to Elon Musk's SpaceX Starbase facility in Texas has drawn attention amid Iran's escalating crackdown on nationwide protests and the growing role of Starlink in bypassing state-imposed internet blackouts. During the visit, Hegseth openly criticized what he described as a risk-averse culture within the traditional defense industry and praised Musk's approach to innovation, signaling a notable thaw in relations between the billionaire and the Trump administration following their highly publicized fallout in 2025. At the SpaceX site, Hegseth announced plans aimed at accelerating technological innovation within the Pentagon and lashed out at what he termed woke artificial intelligence frameworks. He confirmed that the U.S. Department of Defense intends to integrate Musk's Grok AI platform into its systems, despite international backlash over allegations that the model allowed the creation of sexualized images of individuals, including minors, without consent.
But today, we're excited to announce the next frontier AI model company to join GenAI.mil, and that is Grok from xAI, which will go live later this month. Very soon, we will have the world's leading AI models on every unclassified and classified network throughout our department. Long overdue. And that's why today, at my direction, CDAO will exercise its full authority to enforce the DOW data decrees and make all appropriate data available across federated IT systems for AI exploitation. And we will not employ AI models that won't allow you to fight wars. We will judge AI models on this standard alone. Factually accurate, mission relevant, without ideological constraints that limit lawful military applications. Department of War AI will not be woke. It will work for us. We're building war-ready weapons and systems, not chatbots, for an Ivy League faculty lounge.
The Pentagon chief's remarks aligned closely with President Donald Trump's recent demand for a dramatic $500 billion increase in U.S. defense spending, coupled with warnings to major defense contractors to boost production speed or risk being sidelined. Trump has also called on defense firms to cap executive compensation and halt stock buybacks and dividend payouts. Meanwhile, inside Iran, access to information has become a battleground. As authorities shut down most internet services and throttled phone communications, Iranians have increasingly relied on Starlink to transmit videos and eyewitness accounts of protests and security force violence to the outside world. Elon Musk's satellite internet service, which is illegal in Iran, has emerged as a critical tool for activists, journalists, and ordinary citizens attempting to document events despite the blackout. Iranian authorities have responded by intensifying efforts to disrupt Starlink signals and locate users. Amir Rashidi, director of digital rights and security at the US-based Mian Group, said security forces have begun confiscating Starlink terminals, particularly in protest-heavy areas of western Tehran. He noted that signal disruptions worsened during evening protest hours. According to Rashidi, packet loss from Starlink connections has reached as high as 80% in some regions, suggesting the use of advanced jamming technologies beyond standard GPS interference. Human rights organizations report that more than 500 people have been killed during the unrest, with thousands more arrested. The Norway-based group Iran Human Rights and the Hanga Organization for Human Rights have documented evidence of mass casualties, including footage showing large numbers of bodies in a Tehran morgue. With independent media largely silenced, such videos have become one of the few ways to assess the scale of the crackdown. President Trump, who has repeatedly warned Tehran of consequences for continued violence, said he would be briefed on military and cyber options, including the possibility of deploying additional Starlink terminals to Iran. He said, "We may get the internet going, if that's possible." Trump also claimed Iran had reached out to propose negotiations, though he cautioned that talks could collapse if the crackdown continued.
Are you going to send Starlink to Iran, sir, to help the people on the ground with the internet blackout for more than 72 hours?
We're going to be talking about that. We may get the internet going, if that's possible.
Are you talking to Musk
We
about
may
it?
speak to Elon, because as you know, he's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company, so we may speak to Elon Musk and fact, I'm going to call him as soon as I'm finished with you.
Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, disputed Western accounts, insisting the situation was under total control and reiterating that any dialogue with Washington must be based on mutual respect. While communication channels between Tehran and Washington remain open, Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, Ismail Bagay, acknowledged that U.S. messaging has often been contradictory. As Iran remains largely cut off from the outside world, Starlink has become both a lifeline for protesters and a target for the state. Analysts warn that the ongoing information blackout is deepening Iran's economic crisis and heightening fears among the Iranian diaspora, many of whom remain desperate for news of loved ones trapped inside an increasingly darkened country.
Iran has crossed a dangerous new digital red line drawn by the Americans. The Iranian regime deployed military-grade jamming technology to shut down satellite internet, cutting off Starlink, the last lifeline protesters believed could keep them connected to the world. What began as an internet blackout has now escalated into a full-scale battle for control of space-based communication. But the bigger question is how Iran achieved this, and was this supported by anti-US nations? Digital rights monitors warned this is a game-changing escalation. Iran's sweeping blackout has entered uncharted territory, with confirmed reports of deliberate interference targeting Elon Musk's Starlink satellite network. Activists say this was their final plan B when domestic internet services were shut down. Now that escape route is gone. According to experts, Iran's clerical leadership has activated a so-called kill switch using military-grade jammers to disrupt satellite signals. The technology involved is highly sophisticated and extremely expensive. Analysts believe the equipment was either developed domestically or supplied by Russia or China. Despite Starlink being officially banned, the number of receivers inside Iran has quietly surged. But Starlink relies on GPS signals to locate and connect to satellites. Military-grade jammers are now overwhelming those signals, effectively choking off communication. Simon Migliano, journalist and research head at Top 10 VPN, told Forbes that Iran's nationwide blackout is a blunt weapon designed to crush dissent. He warned the economic cost is staggering, draining an estimated $1.56 million every hour the internet remains down. Amir Rashidi, quoted by IranWire, said this level of interference is unprecedented. In over 20 years of research, he has never witnessed jamming of this scale. He described the technology as advanced, military-grade, and likely sourced from Russia or China if not built locally.
Israeli journalist Emily Schrader reported that Starlink connectivity in Iran has been completely jammed. She cited total packet loss consistent with high-power microwave jamming, possibly of Chinese origin. Schrader warned the interference not only disables satellites, but also cripples mobile networks nationwide and may pose serious health risks to civilians. GPS jamming works by exploiting a critical weakness. Satellite signals travel thousands of miles and reach Earth at extremely low power. A jammer floods the same frequency with stronger signals, drowning out legitimate transmissions and rendering receivers useless. Russia has used GPS jamming extensively since 2014. During its invasion of Ukraine, Moscow disrupted navigation, drones, and even US-supplied GPS and Starlink-linked systems. Russia has also been linked to widespread civilian GPS interference across the Baltic region, affecting aviation in NATO countries like Poland and Estonia. China, meanwhile, has demonstrated large-scale electronic warfare capabilities. Beijing has conducted simulations showing how drone swarms could disrupt Starlink over areas the size of Taiwan. China has also heavily invested in anti-GPS technologies alongside its Beidou satellite system. All this comes as protests inside Iran enter their third week. Despite deadly crackdowns, demonstrators continue to defy the regime. Reports suggest more than 500 people have been killed since unrest began. On the 12th day of protests, Iran imposed a near-total internet blackout. That's when Starlink emerged as a rare beacon of hope. Images and videos once again flowed out of a country of nearly 80 million people plunged into digital darkness. But now that lifeline has been snapped. As the regime tightens its grip both on the streets and the skies, the battle has moved beyond borders and into orbit. And with millions now back in the dark, the question remains: who controls the future of connectivity, and how far will global powers go to shut it down?
Iran has now crossed a new digital red line, deploying military-grade jammers to shut down satellite internet, cutting off Starlink, and choking what protesters once believed was their final escape from silence. Iran's internet blackout enters dangerous new territory as satellite signals fall, dissent is crushed, and a global power struggle moves into orbit. Iran's sweeping digital blackout has escalated dramatically, with reports confirming the use of military jamming technology to disrupt access to Elon Musk's Starlink satellite network. This development is being described by digital rights monitors as a game changer, removing what activists viewed as their last reliable Plan B connection when domestic internet services are shut down. According to Iran Wire, despite claims that tens of thousands of Starlink terminals are operating inside Iran, the blackout has now extended into satellite connectivity itself. Initial disruptions reportedly affected around 30% of Starlink's uplink and downlink traffic, before surging beyond 80% within just a few hours. The Times of Israel reports that Starlink receiver deployment inside Iran is now far greater than during previous nationwide blackouts. This is happening despite the Iranian government never authorizing Starlink to operate, making the possession and use of the service illegal under Iranian law. Starlink receivers rely on GPS signals to locate satellites, and Iran has increasingly targeted those signals since its 12-day conflict with Israel last June. By disrupting GPS, authorities are able to localize shutdowns, creating a patchwork of connectivity where some districts experience total satellite blackout, while others retain limited access. This has led to near-total communications silence in several high-profile urban areas, according to monitoring groups tracking real-time data loss. Amir Rashidi of the Mian Group says he has studied internet access and censorship for more than 2 decades, yet has never witnessed anything comparable. Monitoring of Starlink data packets confirms a sudden collapse in satellite traffic, reinforcing reports from inside Iran that even space-based connections are being aggressively targeted. Experts warn this represents a fundamental shift in how authoritarian states suppress dissent, extending censorship beyond borders and into orbit. Simon Migliano, who has compiled a comprehensive report on global internet shutdowns, describes Iran's current blackout as a blunt instrument designed to crush resistance. He says the regime's desperation is evident, noting that this so-called kill switch comes at a staggering economic cost. According to Migliano's analysis, Iran loses an estimated $1.56 million every hour the internet remains offline. Overnight, NetBlocks confirmed Iran's blackout has now exceeded 60 hours, with national connectivity stuck at just 1% of normal levels.
The crisis has now drawn attention from Washington. U.S. President Donald Trump says he will speak directly to Elon Musk about sending Starlink connectivity to protesters inside Iran. Speaking to reporters, Trump said restoring internet access may be possible, adding that Musk is uniquely capable of making it happen. Trump said he would call Musk immediately after the press interaction, signaling potential U.S. involvement in bypassing Iran's digital blockade.